The one who lied about you is about to be publicly exposed. Have you wondered why the weight of false words has lingered longer than the truth you carry? Why whispers seem to travel faster than your integrity? I tell you now, what was spoken in secret about you has reached my ears, and I have not been silent. The one who lied about you thought they were burying you beneath distortion, but they did not know they were planting you in ground I chose to use. You felt the sting. You felt the isolation. You questioned whether defending yourself was worth it. And I watched as you chose restraint over retaliation. That restraint was not weakness. It was trust. And now heaven responds. The lie was crafted carefully. It was spoken confidently. It was repeated strategically. They assumed repetition would make it truth. They counted on your silence to confirm their narrative. They mistook your peace for guilt. But I am the God who exposes what is hidden. I am the God who turns hidden traps into public testimonies. What they meant to stain your name is about to polish it. What they whispered in shadows will be overturned in light so bright that even those who doubted you will blink in disbelief. Do you feel the shift? It is subtle but undeniable. Conversations are changing. Perceptions are cracking. The very people who once leaned away from you are beginning to question what they were told. I am stirring curiosity in the hearts of witnesses. I am loosening tongues that once carried rumor. I am placing discomfort in the spirit of the one who fabricated your story. They cannot rest. They cannot enjoy the illusion they created. Exposure is not approaching, it is already unfolding. You asked me privately, God, will the truth ever speak for me? And I tell you now, the truth is not only speaking, it is preparing a stage. The lie required secrecy to survive. The truth thrives in light. And light is flooding your situation. Documents, messages, conversations, overlooked details, pieces you thought were insignificant, are aligning. What you considered coincidence was orchestration. What you thought was delay was precision. Timing matters, and I do not expose prematurely. I expose when impact is undeniable. The one who lied underestimated two forces, my justice and your endurance. They assumed you would break under the pressure. They expected emotional reactions that would validate their falsehood. But you held your ground. Even when your heart was tired. Even when you cried in private. Even when you felt misunderstood by those you trusted. I saw it all. And because you chose dignity over drama, the vindication will be undeniable. Listen carefully, this exposure will not look chaotic. It will look inevitable. It will not feel like revenge. It will feel like revelation. You will not need to shout. You will not need to explain excessively. The same mouths that spread confusion will begin correcting themselves. The same eyes that viewed you with suspicion will soften with realization. And when the shift becomes visible, some will pretend they always believed you. Let them. I am not only restoring your reputation, I am elevating your discernment. But here is what must settle in your spirit. When exposure comes, it will test your heart again. Will you gloat? Will you retaliate? Or will you stand steady in grace? I am preparing you not just to be cleared, but to be elevated. Vindication is not the end of this story, it is the doorway. The platform being cleared of lies is the same platform I will use to expand your influence. You thought this season was about survival. It was actually about refinement. The pressure revealed your character. The accusation strengthened your integrity. The isolation sharpened your reliance on me. And now the narrative is shifting. Quietly. Strategically. powerfully. Watch closely. Within conversations you are not present for, your name is being reconsidered. In rooms you never entered, your character is being defended. By people you least expect, questions are being raised. And the one who lied feels it. They sense something slipping. They sense control dissolving. They sense truth approaching like dawn breaking through night. And when the first crack in their story becomes visible, it will not be small. Are you prepared for what happens when the first piece of undeniable proof surfaces? The first crack will not come with thunder, it will come with a question. A simple, piercing question that the one who lied cannot answer without unraveling their own story. And when that question is asked, it will echo. It will travel through conversations, through private chats, through silent reflections at night. The narrative they constructed will begin to wobble under its own weight. You will not have to push it. Truth has gravity. It pulls deception downward all by itself. You must understand something deeper. This was never just about reputation. This was about assignment. The lie was sent to delay you, to distract you, to exhaust you emotionally so you would step back from what I called you to do. The enemy hoped shame would silence you. They hoped misunderstanding would isolate you. They hoped frustration would make you quit quietly. But instead of quitting, you endured. Instead of collapsing, you leaned into me. Instead of retaliating, you waited. And that waiting has positioned you for a reversal that will feel almost unreal. Even now, evidence is surfacing in subtle ways. Screenshots saved. Dates remembered. Inconsistencies noticed. Witnesses rethinking what they heard. Someone who once believed the lie is starting to sense that something never quite aligned. That discomfort is not random, it is conviction. I am breathing on their conscience. I am stirring discernment where there was once passive acceptance. The same people who nodded along are now re-examining the details. And the more they examine, the weaker the falsehood becomes. You felt abandoned when no one defended you. But I was building a defense stronger than public argument. If someone had rushed to defend you too early, the lie would have evolved. Deception adapts when threatened prematurely. But now the timing is perfect. Now the contradictions are undeniable. Now the stage is set so that when truth steps forward, it will not be debated, it will be acknowledged. The one who lied is feeling pressure you cannot see. Anxiety has begun to visit them. They replay conversations in their mind. They wonder who knows what. They fear the unexpected message, the unexpected confrontation, the unexpected revelation. They are trying to manage narratives, but control is slipping. And here is the irony. The more they attempt to secure their story, the more inconsistencies they create. Panic always exposes what pride tries to protect. You, however, must guard your heart carefully in this hour. Because as exposure rises, so will attention. The same spotlight that reveals their falsehood will illuminate you. People will watch how you respond. They will observe your tone, your posture, your restraint. And I am strengthening you so that when the moment comes, you will not speak from wounded ego but from grounded authority. There is a difference. One seeks validation. The other radiates peace. Do not confuse silence with inactivity. I have been orchestrating conversations you know nothing about. There are allies you did not realize you had. There are individuals who remained quiet not because they doubted you, but because they were observing. They were collecting information. They were waiting for clarity. And when clarity arrives, their support will not be subtle. It will be strategic. There is also something else you must prepare for: apology. Not everyone will apologize publicly. Some will reach out privately, wrestling with regret. Some will approach cautiously, unsure how to repair what distance created. And some will never admit they were wrong, but their behavior will change. I am teaching you discernment in restoration. Not everyone who returns should regain full access. Exposure reveals truth, but it also reveals loyalty. And then there is the moment itself. The undeniable reveal. It may come through a misplaced comment, a leaked detail, a confession, a contradiction caught in real time. It will not require you to defend yourself aggressively. It will speak clearly. It will shift the atmosphere. You will feel it. The tension that lingered around your name will dissolve. The heaviness will lift. Conversations will change tone. Invitations may reopen. Opportunities that paused will move again. But here is what makes this moment sacred. The exposure is not meant to humiliate, it is meant to correct alignment. I am not simply clearing your name, I am separating you from environments that could not handle your integrity. The lie exposed who was easily swayed, who was patient, who was discerning, and who was opportunistic. That knowledge is valuable. That awareness will protect you moving forward. You once asked me in frustration, why would you allow this? And I answered in silence, because understanding requires perspective. Now perspective is forming. You are stronger. You are less naive. You are more anchored. You no longer seek approval the same way. The accusation refined you. And when your name is cleared, it will carry more weight than it did before the storm. Pay attention to the next few days, the next few conversations, the subtle tone shifts. Something is about to surface that cannot be dismissed. The one who lied will attempt one last effort to stabilize their version. But desperation accelerates exposure. And when their final attempt fails, the unraveling will be swift. The question is no longer if truth will emerge. The real question is, what will happen when the person who believed the lie the most becomes the one who uncovers it? What will happen when the one who defended the lie begins to doubt it? When the loudest supporter of the false story starts noticing the fractures? This is where the shift becomes irreversible. Because when conviction touches someone who once stood against you, it does not whisper, it disrupts. It unsettles sleep. It replays conversations. It forces reflection. And I am moving in the conscience of the very person who amplified what wounded you. You must understand, I do not need a crowd to defend you. I need one awakened voice. One person willing to say, something doesn't add up. That single moment of courage becomes a domino. Others who were silently unsure will feel permission to question. The silence that protected the lie will crack open. And when that first voice speaks, it will not sound aggressive, it will sound honest. And honesty has power. The one who lied built their narrative on confidence. They assumed certainty would intimidate doubt. But doubt has entered the room now. Subtle. Persistent. Growing. They sense eyes observing them differently. They notice hesitation where there was once agreement. The atmosphere around them has changed, and they cannot control it. Control was their strategy. Influence was their tool. But both are slipping through their fingers. And you, stay anchored. Do not rush ahead of what I am unfolding. There will be a temptation to hint, to subtly imply, to say, I told you so. Resist it. Your composure is part of your vindication. When you remain steady while the lie collapses on its own, people will recognize something different about you. They will see strength without aggression, confidence without arrogance. That contrast will speak louder than explanation ever could. There is something sacred about this exposure. It is not merely about clearing your name, it is about recalibrating perception. People judged you based on incomplete information. Now they will reassess you with humility. And humility opens doors that pride once closed. Invitations that felt distant may resurface. Conversations that stopped abruptly may restart. But this time, you will enter those spaces with discernment sharpened by experience. The one who lied is wrestling internally. They may not show it outwardly yet, but the pressure is mounting. They are calculating possibilities, considering outcomes, wondering how much is known. They may attempt subtle damage control, softening statements, adjusting their tone, distancing themselves from earlier claims. But the digital trail, the spoken words, the witnesses, they remain. Truth has memory. And memory is aligning with revelation. Do you see what I am doing? I am allowing them to confront the weight of their own words. Exposure is not only public, it is personal. Before the crowd sees clearly, the heart feels conviction. And conviction is heavier than embarrassment. They are realizing that what they thought was harmless exaggeration carried consequences. They are recognizing that the story they crafted affected a real person, you. But hear me clearly, do not let bitterness take root. When truth surfaces, your heart must remain clean. Bitterness would tie you to the very situation I am freeing you from. Forgiveness does not excuse the lie, it releases your spirit from carrying it. I am elevating you, and elevation requires lightness. Let go of the weight as I dismantle the falsehood. There will be a moment soon when the energy shifts publicly. It might be subtle at first. A correction in conversation, a retracted statement, an admission that something was misunderstood. But it will snowball. Those who once avoided eye contact will seek it. Those who remained distant will soften. And in that moment, you will realize something profound. You survived what was designed to silence you. But this is not only about survival. This is about positioning. Because once your name is restored, influence increases. People trust those who endure unjust accusation with grace. They watch how you handled pressure. They observed your restraint. And they will begin to see you as someone safe, someone grounded, someone tested. What felt like humiliation was actually preparation. Stay attentive. The conversation that changes everything is closer than you think. It may happen unexpectedly. It may occur in a setting you did not anticipate. But when it does, you will recognize it instantly. There will be a pause, a realization, a shift in tone. And the truth will stand up in the middle of the room without you lifting a finger. And when that happens, the one who lied will face a choice they cannot avoid. Will they deny, or will they confess? That moment is closer than they realize. The tension building around them is not random, it is consequence ripening. For a while, they believed silence from others meant safety for them. They mistook the calm for protection. But calm is not protection when truth is advancing. It is simply the quiet before unveiling. You must prepare your heart for what confession might look like. It may not be dramatic. It may not be a grand public apology with tears and full accountability. Sometimes exposure comes through a subtle admission, I may have misunderstood. Sometimes it comes through a reluctant clarification, that's not exactly what happened. And sometimes it arrives through undeniable proof that leaves no room for escape. However it unfolds, know this, it will be sufficient. I do not expose halfway. I expose completely. There is something powerful about the way I defend you. I do not always intervene immediately because immediate intervention would teach you to rely on noise. Instead, I build a case through time. I allow patterns to surface. I allow contradictions to accumulate. I allow character to reveal itself on both sides. And now the pattern is undeniable. The difference between your consistency and their instability is becoming visible. You may notice the liar growing quieter. Watch carefully. Those who once spoke boldly about you will begin to withdraw from the topic. Their tone will soften. Their confidence will fade. They will attempt to redirect conversations. Why? Because maintaining deception requires energy, and they are exhausted. Truth is steady, lies require maintenance. And they are running out of strength. Meanwhile, your name is being reconsidered in rooms you are unaware of. Someone is defending you without your knowledge. Someone is replaying an old conversation and realizing they judged too quickly. Someone is revisiting a message and recognizing manipulation. The dominoes are falling quietly, but they are falling. You asked me for justice. I am giving you revelation. Justice without revelation would only silence the accuser. Revelation corrects the environment. It teaches discernment to those who listen too easily. It strengthens wisdom in the community around you. After this, people will think twice before believing rumors. Your situation is becoming a lesson that protects more than just you. But here is where your maturity will matter most. When exposure peaks, your reaction will determine the next season. If you respond with pride, you shrink the impact. If you respond with grace, you expand it. Grace does not mean pretending it did not hurt. It means choosing composure over chaos. It means letting truth defend you fully without adding emotional revenge. The one who lied is beginning to sense isolation. Not because people hate them, but because trust is fragile. Once credibility cracks, people step back. They observe. They measure words more carefully. That shift is already happening. They feel it in subtle ways: fewer affirmations, more silence, cautious responses. The influence they enjoyed is thinning. And here is what they did not anticipate: you are not broken. You are not desperate to reclaim approval. You are steady. There is a confidence forming in you that does not depend on public opinion. That confidence is dangerous to deception. Because once you stop reacting emotionally, lies lose their leverage. There may come a direct confrontation. A conversation where truth is addressed openly. If that moment arrives, speak calmly. Speak clearly. Do not exaggerate. Do not attack. Simply state what is real. Your steadiness will disarm them more than anger ever could. And if they confess, even partially, do not humiliate them. Exposure has already done its work. Understand this deeply: I am not only exposing a lie, I am repositioning you. The storm revealed your resilience. The silence strengthened your restraint. The waiting sharpened your perception. And now, as truth surfaces, doors you thought were permanently closed will begin to unlock. There is one final turn in this unfolding. A detail you have not considered. A person you did not expect. A piece of information that has remained hidden until now. When it surfaces, it will not only clear your name, it will change the entire narrative. And when that final piece appears, even the one who lied will realize something undeniable. They were not fighting you. They were standing against me. And when a person positions themselves against what I have established, the unraveling is not personal, it is spiritual. You thought this battle was about reputation, about misunderstanding, about human conflict. But beneath the surface, it was about alignment. It was about whether deception could override destiny. And I do not allow lies to cancel what I have ordained. The final piece is emerging now. The overlooked detail. The conversation someone saved. The witness who stayed silent until the timing was right. The inconsistency that can no longer be explained away. When it surfaces, the atmosphere will shift instantly. There will be no dramatic explosion, just a heavy, undeniable realization that changes everything. You will feel it like a release in your chest. A breath you did not realize you were holding will finally exhale. And in that moment, clarity will spread quickly. Those who doubted you will replay their assumptions. Those who distanced themselves will reconsider their silence. Some will feel regret. Some will feel embarrassment. Some will quietly admire how you carried yourself through pressure. But what matters most is this: the truth will stand on its own without you forcing it to. The one who lied will face the weight of exposure fully. Not because you demanded it, but because truth demanded it. They may attempt to minimize it. They may say it was a misunderstanding, miscommunication, exaggeration. But the pattern will be visible now. And when patterns become visible, excuses lose power. People are not blind forever. Discernment eventually awakens. Here is what I want you to understand as this chapter closes: vindication is not revenge. Vindication is restoration of order. It is alignment returning to its rightful place. It is your name being separated from distortion. And once separation happens, acceleration follows. What was paused will move. What was delayed will resume. What felt blocked will open. You will notice something unexpected after the exposure: peace. Not excitement. Not celebration. Peace. Because deep down, you were never fighting to win an argument. You were fighting to breathe freely again. And when your name is cleared, that freedom will feel quiet and powerful at the same time. There may even be a private moment between you and the one who lied. A look. A conversation. A brief acknowledgement. If that moment comes, let your strength be calm. You do not need to shame them. The lesson has already imprinted itself. Exposure teaches more effectively than confrontation ever could. And as this unfolds, your influence will expand in ways you did not anticipate. People trust those who survive storms without becoming storms themselves. They watched you endure. They observed your restraint. They noticed you did not retaliate publicly. That integrity has weight now. Your voice will carry more authority because it was tested. But stay humble. This was not your doing alone. It was my covering, my timing, my orchestration. The same God who allowed the process controlled the outcome. And I allowed it because I was strengthening your foundation. If this exposure had happened earlier, you would have celebrated too loudly. Now you understand the cost of misunderstanding. Now you value discernment. Now you move differently. There will be new opportunities after this. Invitations to step into rooms where your name once carried question marks. Partnerships that previously hesitated. Conversations that once felt tense becoming open and respectful. Do not carry suspicion into every new space. Learn, but do not harden. Most importantly, remember this feeling. The shift from accusation to clarity. The movement from isolation to validation. the transition from confusion to revelation. Let it remind you that silence does not mean abandonment. Delay does not mean defeat. And lies do not outlive truth. The one who lied believed the story would define you. Instead, it refined you. They thought exposure would be yours. Instead, it became theirs. And as the dust settles, one truth will echo louder than anything else: what I establish cannot be dismantled by rumor. Now stand tall. Breathe deeply. Walk forward without hesitation. Your name is lighter. Your spirit is stronger. Your path is clearer. And this is only the beginning of what I am about to restore.